I guess we're the get right team for some of these squads that only have one win, only have 0 wins on the season. It happened again, this time in Indianapolis. Bad deficit early. Hornets give you a fake comeback, not a real one. They fall to the Pacers. Con stars again, just everybody else around them. Tough sledding, tough shooting night. A lot of offensive rebounds, though. And we got that going for us. We'll break it all down today. Locked On Hornets.
You are Locked On Hornets, your daily Charlotte Hornets podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
In a minute, cuz we live.
It's Locked On Hornets, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day. Thanks for making us your first listen. We're free. We're available anywhere you get your podcast. That does include YouTube. There's Doug Branson. The Stash is stashing. Follow us on YouTube so you can see the stash a little more. Everyhornetsboxscore.com. Go check out his his Substack. Also, he produces Yahoo Sports Daily with Jason Fitz and Caroline Fenton. I'm Walker Mehl. Listen to me on WFNZ every weekday from 12 to 3 p.m. Sports Radio 92.7 FM. Today's episode, it's brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. And last but not least, we want to remind you that you are listening to the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network.
Not number 2, not number 3, number 1.
We're number 1. The amount of wins that the Pacers had last night, kind of like that.
Not anymore.
Until now. You know, I just came in here to, I guess, what you could call the recording room. Feels weird to say studio, and I was just watching NBA Today or whatever the show is on ESPN. And the first thing I see, right, because I get home and then I immediately let the dogs out and then I come right here. That is the transition. But the TV is on. I leave it on ESPN for the dogs. They love it. Greenberg, shout out. Thank you for keeping my dogs entertained on Get Up every morning. And as soon as I'm passing the TV, first thing I see, the #1 play of the night, it's Jay Huff posterizing Ryan Kalkbrenner, and I'm reminded that the Pacers beat the Hornets last night, 127-118. So the Hornets now move to 4-11 through their first 15 games. They are 1-7 on the road, and the Pacers, they get their second win of the season. They're now 2-13 in their first 15 games. How bad of a loss was this to you, Doug?
First, I love the idea that the Hornets have turned into the get right team. It's like, give me your tired, your poor records, your huddled ass teams yearning to get a win. It's amazing.
That's what they've been. Look, I'm going to hold on. You tell me what your thoughts were after this, watching this game.
My thought was that the Hornets have a lot to figure out, that they are currently, they're currently littered with a lot of rookies, some of whom have things completely figured out in Kon Knueppel. I really chose to focus on the good because I think part of me...
Yeah,
I think part of me, and in just monitoring the Every Hornets box score chat, it seems like people have broken off into 2 camps. One camp that is still holding on to the optimism that we had, preseason, going, wait a minute, as a couple of things break right, and the Hornets all of a sudden, they could be a sneak backdoor play-in team. And then the other camp they've hit the cold hard reality that are the injuries, but more to the point, the rhythm that has to now be established because of the injuries that could have been established, 5, 6, 7 games ago. And instead they've gone, all right, I see what's going on here. We're in this hell again. But the big difference, and this is where I think that second camp still has the optimism. The biggest difference is that all of these rookies are giving the Hornets something that they can be excited about in the future, particularly Kon Knueppel. And so I think that other camp is focusing on Knueppel. It was a tough night to focus on Kalkbrenner. We can dig into that. Honestly, it was a tough night to focus on Sion. But Kon in particular, you focus on that, you go, all right, the Hornets are going to be okay at some point. It just is not going to be playing okay this season.
I've got plenty of phenomenal things to say about Kon. What else can you say? We're going to find out.
We got to figure it out because we're only 15 games in and he keeps amazing us. So we got to break out the thesaurus and make sure we have some things to say on Kon Knueppel.
Del Curry said that man knows how to play basketball last night. That was one of the calls, and I felt it. It was the right thing to say. I just don't know what else to say about it.
Well, because other fan bases would take that for granted, right? They would hear that and go, "Oh yeah, like more than half our roster knows how to play basketball." And Hornets fans would immediately go, "Whoa, buddy, don't brag so hard."
I need to vent just for a little bit because I'm usually with you. Like I've said it a million times. Kon Knueppel is the cushion to our fall. Okay. When we jump off of the ledge, Kon Knueppel will not let us get hurt too badly because he exists. And that's a huge, huge cushion. But at the same time, I'm tired of being the get right team. I'd rather beat the Pelicans instead of give them their first win on the season. I'd rather not fall down 20 points and then give you a fake comeback in the second half against the Pacers. I'd like for that to happen. And so when we have questions and topics, like, is there a sneak tank going on? And we don't really have a clear answer because, LaMelo is playing. Tank seems intentional. Brandon Miller, they didn't break his shoulder. So that's not the Hornets' fault for Brandon suffering a shoulder subluxation. I really hope it's not the Hornets' fault for LaMelo going through another ankle impingement. Maybe your hand is being forced and you just decide that losing is okay. Okay. I went through a lot of those scenarios in a couple of episodes ago with that sneak tank conversation. But one thing I don't like is losing to the worst basketball teams. And it would be different if this was unusual, except that we got swept by the Wizards last year. So I would like some good things to happen when we do have LaMelo on the floor. He's playing, man. You know what's crazy? It's still an injured basketball team. Brandon Miller still isn't out there. He's a really important part of this team. You don't have Grant Williams. You don't have Josh Green. Those are 3 rotation players. Those guys would be getting at least 15, 20 minutes a pop. That's at least. That's on the low end. So that matters when we're evaluating everything. And I get that. Except, do we still give you the benefit of the doubt when you do go to overtime against a Giannis-led Milwaukee Bucks team? When you do force almost overtime against Toronto, do we just accept this? Is that okay? Because I got to tell you, man, like I'm pretty frustrated with losing to the teams that are at the bottom of the standings, whether it be the Western Conference or the Eastern Conference.
Are you getting to the point that we got to last season already where you're like, Charles, I need you to be a little angry right now. I need you to meet me in the moment that I am in here. I'm upset, and I would like you also to be upset, and he meets you with pillars and a lot of coach speak, and but that's his deal. LaMelo has to play better. I'm trying to give him grace. I'm trying to be patient as he works his way back into some kind of rhythm, but I'm getting scared. There were, 18, 7, and 9, just the bare bones box score there. Seems good, but then he was 5 of 21 from the field. He was 3 of 10 from 2. He was 2 of 11 from 3. What saved him a little bit is he was able to get to the line, but he also had 6 turnovers. This was a game where it almost felt like throughout it, except for maybe the very first few minutes, he was pressing and looked uncomfortable through this game. A stark contrast to Kon Knueppel, who looked extremely comfortable. You have to have something better than that against the worst team in the league from your best player. You have to have some level of restraint, control, understanding. And in saying all of that, I still don't think LaMelo Ball was the primary reason why they lost this game. They lost this game there were 2 stretches where you had a bench unit that really didn't have enough scoring and then had Kalkbrenner out there. And we talked about Jay Huff, but it wasn't just Jay Huff. It was a bench unit for Indiana that went 10 of 16 from the 3-point line. A lot of that was Kalkbrenner not being able to guard anyone that can shoot. Like he just could not guard Jay Huff. and just can't extend his defense out to the 3-point line. That's going to hurt the Hornets probably all season long. And then I thought Sion James had a lot of communication issues on defense in that same unit, and it blasted them twice, and the Hornets didn't have enough in the fourth quarter. They tried to make a little bit of a comeback. Indiana tried to get the, a deeper bench unit out there for some experience and had to pull them back. But the Hornets were in too deep of a hole by that point.
Yeah, you brought up LaMelo. Let's finish there because you said you're scared. And I have been a big LaMelo defender when people say he's not a winning player. Okay, well, it's because he hasn't had any winning players around him. He's been injured. Yeah, he's injury prone if you want to say that. You got a lot of evidence to back your opinion up. LaMelo getting into a rhythm is something that I'm waiting for. But the more that we wait for it, how are you going to be able to get into a rhythm when you have a minutes restriction? And I'm not sure when this impingement is going to pop up again because now you seemingly have chronic ankle issues. The reason I am starting to sound the alarm off a little bit more, Doug, I thought that was one of the worst games I've seen him play in a long time.
Wow.
I thought it was a really bad game from him. Look, you had more turnovers than you had made field goals, and you took 20 field goal attempts. His usage percentage was 43. That's in the 98th percentile of every single NBA game that's been played. I agree with you that he wasn't the reason they lost. I'm never typically going to put it all on one player, and I'm not going to do that here with LaMelo, despite having a 43% usage percentage. You couldn't hit anything, not just LaMelo. Nobody could hit anything unless your name is Kon Knueppel. They shot 50% at the rim. They got there. They took 40% of their shots at the cup. They made 50%, which is putrid. It's awful. Good. Okay? It's crazy bad. And they couldn't hit any threes. So you have to hit shots to win the league, and they just didn't do it last night, despite gobbling up all the offensive rebounds. They had 17 in the first half. I tweeted it out. The franchise record for a game is 29. They were on pace for 34 at halftime. Just great. A lot of missed shots to grab. That's the thing. There was plenty of volume, and Moussa Diabate's a madman. Kon Knueppel's a madman. They all got a whole bunch of offensive boards. There was a whole lot of offensive boards to grab. Shot selection. I even think the shot selection for LaMelo at the beginning of the season was quite good and was within the confines of the offense, right? Playing alongside Kon, having better players around him, trusting those better players around him. That's where you start to lose the shot selection argument for LaMelo, which I've defended a million times. When you look around you, you don't have Brandon. That's still a big deal. You don't have Grant. You don't have Josh. Cool. But you do have Kon Knueppel. You do have Miles Bridges, who is your best friend and somebody that I think you trust. You do have some threats down low and Kalkbrenner, who shoots 90% from the field. It's all around the rim, but maybe we can get some things going to him. Look, it's his third game. It's an injury. No, I'm not telling you that this is what you're going to get from LaMelo, except the argument against being worried about LaMelo is just wait until he gets into a rhythm. To which then I would say, are we sure he's going to get in one if we have a minutes restriction and we got ankle impingement? That's where the fear comes in, if you ask me.
I tell you who's not waiting on LaMelo to get into a rhythm, and that's Kon Knueppel. He's not saying, all right, this is LaMelo's team. I'm just going to concede, everything to him. No, he's staying aggressive, and you love to see it. Actually, I don't know that this game was worse than the two worst games he played last season, which I thought were some of the worst of his career. One was against Portland last season when he went 1 of 10. He only played 22 minutes, but that's because the Hornets took one of the worst losses in franchise history. It was 141-88. Yeah. He was 1 of 10, 5 points, 0 of 4 from 3, 2 assists, no turnovers, though that's nice. And then the Brooklyn game where he had to be pulled and almost fouled out.
Well, in Portland was Tumani Kamara, remember? We were talking about dealing with the physicality. You're dealing with the physicality and not getting calls. And that's still a thing, man. LaMelo, here's the thing, right? Like, people are going to say, oh, you hate LaMelo, right? Just whatever. The frustration is because I think LaMelo is fantastic. And I so desperately want to see LaMelo and Kon healthy. So now I see it. I'm so close. We always have to clear one other hurdle. Now they're healthy enough to share the floor. Is LaMelo healthy enough to bring the best out of Kon and vice versa? So now you're telling me I got to get over this hurdle. He's healthy, but he's not really healthy. He's healthy enough to play, but not really healthy enough to be effective. Okay. Yeah, man. Here's another hurdle. Let's continue the combo. Coming up next on the Locked On Hornets podcast.
Bees everywhere!
Was it a bad loss? I don't know if Doug answered that question. Was it a bad loss to the Pacers last night? And we'll discuss more about Kon Knueppel, give you more observations. Coming up next, LOH. This episode is brought to you by Quo. Let's talk about something every business owner knows too well. Missed calls. When a customer tries to reach you and you can't get through, that's money slipping away. Quo, spelled Quo, is the smarter way to run your business communications so you never miss an opportunity. Quo is the #1 business phone system built for 2025, not 1995. It's simple, modern, and designed to help you communicate faster, look more professional, and stay connected wherever you're working. Try Quo for free at quo.com/LockedOnNBA. It makes small businesses feel big and big businesses feel efficient. No wonder over 90,000 businesses are already using Quo. And if you can't answer a phone call, Quo's AI agent jumps in. It can qualify leads, route calls, and make sure no customer is ever left hanging, even after hours. Again, try Quo for free at quo.com/LockedOnNBA, quo.com/LockedOnNBA. And yes, you can even keep your existing number. Quo, no missed calls, no missed customers. This episode is also brought to you by Rougiette. Let's be real. Making excuses doesn't solve anything. We've all heard them before. It's just stress. I'm tired. Or it happens to everyone sometimes. But when it comes to performance, sometimes your body just needs a little extra support. And that's where Rougiette comes in. Rougiette.com offers fast-acting, doctor-prescribed treatments for ED designed to help you stop making excuses and start making moves. Rougiette makes it easy to get started. You just connect with a board-certified doctor 100% online. No awkward waiting rooms, no in-person appointments. And if prescribed, your treatment ships discreetly straight to your door. The process is fast, it's simple, and it's private, and it's all handled by real doctors. It's about confidence, connection, and getting back to the moments that matter. Visit Rougiette.com/LockedOnNBA to get 15% off your first order. That's Rougiette.com/LockedOnNBA. And don't forget to use our code LockedOnNBA so they know we sent you. Rougiette, stop making excuses and start making moves. More Locked On Hornets ahead. Since LaMelo's come back from injury, the numbers have not been good, clearly. So he's played 3 games. He sat out on minutes restriction against OKC when the Hornets lost. But when LaMelo has been back, he's shooting 29.1% from the field. He's shooting 20.8% from 3 on 8 attempts per game. He's turning it over almost 4 times a contest. He is averaging 9 assists. He's averaging 5 rebounds. But the turnover percentage, it's been not very good. Only 18 points, which is low for him. 18 points per game. It's not great. It's another injury, right? That I understand that excuse. Yeah. I give him grace for that. I hear you. I'm sure it's really hard. I'm sure it's hard. It's just frustrating that we can't have a guy that is so clearly talented and great at basketball help out some of these other players right now. And I know that there's gravity and there's nuance and there's all of that. It was a bad game from LaMelo, and I hope we get good LaMelo here soon.
Yeah, I mean, he was in a groove last year and had to miss a few games in between like January and February. And when he came back, that Portland loss was in there, but he also had a couple of other stinkers, and it took him a few games before he went on that like mad stretch, to close that season, and he played a lot better. So I don't know. I don't know what to think right now. I'm not ready to like declare it. Just like I'm not ready to declare that a bad loss, because I think it's going to be a lot like the Washington losses last season, where we have to say this is unacceptable. We can't lose to the Washington Wizards 4 times in a row, but secretly we're going, man, that's a pretty good draft class. I don't know,
Well, that's what I think they're saying. That's what that again. So many things.
I don't think that's
go
what
back
the players
to the
are saying.
tank.
I don't see anything in the players that I'm going, everybody's giving up.
No, I don't.
I think it's like no Grant Williams, no Brandon Miller. Look, I respect anyone who's trying to make their dream happen and continue to play in this league. And when they're asked to give minutes, they give their best. Okay, but I'm tired of seeing Drew Peterson. With all due respect that I can have for Drew Peterson, as a human being and as a basketball player. I'm tired of seeing Drew Peterson on my television. I need Liam McNeely to get a couple of Advil and get back in this thing, and for some of these other guys to get healthy too. So, that's when people say, they're up in arms about this. I'm like, he's got to play Drew Peterson. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, the wing position specifically, that's when you say, why is Liam McNeely playing clutch time minutes when he's so clearly the worst rookie that we've had? Like, okay, except he's the only one that gives you size out there on the perimeter. The other options are Tijon Salon. He's in Greensboro, needs to be down there. And the other option is Peterson. Who else fits that profile? You just don't have it. Josh Green can guard up, but he's not available. Grant Williams, more of a 4 for sure. So Peterson is the guy, and it does go to show you they still have deficiencies, man. It's not me neglecting that. It's not me trying to contextualize all of that. It's just maybe LaMelo comes out and balls out this upcoming game, and just, okay, you're able to string 5, 6, 7, 15 games together, and now we're rocking and rolling. And maybe the Hornets lose a few games, but LaMelo looks to be like healthy, good, fringe all-star, just outright all-star LaMelo, and then it's all gravy. But the minutes restrictions are a thing. Are you not going to play the second night of a back-to-back? If that happens, then is it going to take you a little bit more time to get your feet back under you? That's the question. Okay, we can focus on the good. I did think it was a bad loss, clearly. I understand that you don't think it's a bad one. Kon Knueppel gave us a great performance in a bad loss, okay loss, whatever you want to call it. We're getting into some pretty crazy territory here. So one way I'll lead off is I was looking at some on-pace numbers, Doug. Hashtag on pace. That nobody's ever wandered down a bad road with the on-pace numbers. Not going to do it here. But you know how we see the stats for Kon? Through the first 13 games, Kon Knueppel has hit the most amount of three-pointers in that stretch as a rookie of all time. The first 7, 8, 9. Now, Kon Knueppel is the fastest rookie to hit 53-pointers in the NBA. I think Jordan Hawkins, it took him 3 more games to reach that mark, which isn't nothing, by the way. So,
hold on. Can I pause there? Because I'm not. Yeah. I think we're making. I get why people they got to cling on to something because you have to. It's nice to have a stat or it's nice to have a thing that you can communicate very simply. Kon Knueppel is special, and I think that's what this stat is. And yet, I don't think this stat means much because it is Jordan Hawkins. Because it is Armani Brooks is third, and someone asked me today.
Is that right? I didn't see that. Okay.
Yeah, he's like third. And it's like, is Armani Brooks still in the league? And so like that. So I think it's a sign of the times record. If Steph were a rookie right now, he would be blasting that record away, right? So, but what I think it is, it's an avatar to say Kon Knueppel is special and doing special things without being like, and the synergy numbers and the points per possession, that kind of thing. The stuff you can't do like on a TV broadcast.
Yeah, that's all fair. I'm glad you brought up that point. I'm glad you interrupted me on that point because
I try not to because people get mad at me. People get mad at me, so you need to tell people that it was okay.
No, I've interrupted you a couple times to make a point. This is a good one. I'm glad you did, to be honest. So everybody in the YouTube comment section that's mad at Doug, don't press enter on that. You're right. Those names don't really do it justice. That's why I'm going to give you different names. Okay. Because we're not talking about rookie records with Kon anymore. The hashtag on pace numbers suggest that Kon Knueppel is going to set a Hornets franchise record for most threes ever hit in a season. That's what we're talking about right now. Kon Knueppel is on pace to hit anywhere between 275, 280. The record is Kemba Walker, his last year here with 260.
Wow.
That's how you put it in context, people. Sorry to Armani Brooks, but when you're talking about beating Kemba Walker, an all-time Charlotte Hornet, the all-time Charlotte Hornet, and Kon Knueppel is giving you something like this to where it looks pretty legitimate. As long as Kon can play every single game, there's plenty of caveats, and we'll see if he can play the whole season. But yeah, like, not to mention the facilitation, the great passes to the corner, the rebounds. I didn't expect him to be able to rebound at this level. He's been phenomenal.
All right, you're going to go insane when I say this. You're going to go absolutely nuts when I say this. I was watching this game back last night, and I'm seeing him just move and groove, the fluidity, the patience, the speed changes, the way he hunts rebounds, just his vision, his scoring ability, the shooting ability. And I thought I was crazy for a minute when this happened. I go, you know who Kon Knueppel kind of reminds me of? Devin Booker.
You're right. I'm going to go mad. I'm going to go mad that you said that.
But it's Devin. What if Devin Booker, but he cared a lot about winning the basketball game? That's where it's not Devin Snooker. Okay. I think it's Devin Booker, but what if he cared about winning the basketball game? That's who I think Kon Knueppel, when I watch him, reminds me of. And look, for all the criticisms that I've leveled against Devin Booker, I've always said, like, he's a special scorer and he impacts the game in a lot of ways. Just one of those ways doesn't happen to be winning basketball games for the Phoenix Suns a lot of the time. But I think Kon Knueppel can change that for the Charlotte Hornets eventually.
Kon Snooker, are you going to start calling him that now?
No, because I'm telling you, he is like the Pokemon evolved version of Devin Booker. And he's already worn the headband, right? He did that in Summer League, so that was medically induced. But
there's a second evolution.
I told you it was going to make you insane when I brought that name up. But I watch him and I go, there's a little bit of Booker in there.
All right. By the way, Jason Richardson, second on the all-time three-pointers made in a season list.
That's a nuts stat.
I know, just a rental, just one rental. Here, I'll go make more threes than everybody but Kimba. Thank you.
That's special from Jay Rich, but that's an indictment on the franchise. That's an absolute indictment on the franchise. And they tried to draft players that were supposed to be able to shoot and just couldn't.
Don't you say his name. We got to move on. Coming up now. Don't do it. One more segment to go. Coming up next on the Locked On Hornets podcast.
He's everywhere.
LaMelo would destroy it, by the way, if he played. Destroy it. He's got that kind of talent. One more segment to go. We'll give you some finishing thoughts here on the Pacers game and take a look ahead to some of the games this weekend. Again, LOH. This episode is brought to you by Skims. They're designed to feel good, fit right, and actually stay put. No slipping, no sagging, no adjusting, just genuinely great underwear that makes you feel confident and comfortable. But when Skims announced that they were making underwear for men, the reaction, it made perfect sense. People have been talking about Skims comfort for years, but most guys stick to whatever they've been buying since college. The same fits, the same waistbands, and that roll, whatever, a whole lot of just settling with what you're used to. Skims Men's changes that. One upgrade, and it's obvious why everyone has been talking about it. It's for all the reasons I just mentioned. They don't ride up, they don't lose their shape, and they hit exactly where they're supposed to on the thigh, whether you're working, traveling, or working out, or just hanging out at the house. A lot of different scenarios. These feel better than anything you've used before. Don't know how you would expect underwear to be a game changer until you try Skims, and it might surprise you. Shop Skims Men's now at skims.com, and when you place your order, choose podcast in the post-purchase survey and select our show from the drop-down menu to let them know that we sent you. Plus, the Skims holiday shop, it's open as well, so if you're looking for the perfect gift this season, Skims has you covered. This episode is also brought to you by FanDuel. The NBA is back, and there's no better way to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you missed the start of the game or want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. It keeps every game exciting, especially when your team is making that late push. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. More Locked On Hornets ahead. Any other observations that you had in this loss to the Pacers last night, Doug?
It was an angels in the backcourt kind of game. Nothing can go right. In fact, LaMelo and Sion reenacted a scene from that movie. Miles Bridges missed a three in the corner. Kon Knueppel Rebounds, offensive rebounds, and I want to say that what Kon Knueppel does so well when he's rebounding is that he hits first. This is something that Steve Clifford used to go over and over and over again with players. If you want to get rebounds in this league, you have to make contact first. So Mathurin was just looking for an easy defensive rebound, and the ball's in the air. It's not even hit the rim yet. And Kon Knueppel goes over and gives Mathurin a little shove where the ref can't see it, but he makes contact first. Mathurin can't adjust at that point, and Kon's able to poke the ball away. Just a little special stuff that he's doing right now to accumulate these stats and impact the game. Unfortunately, he taps the ball out, and Sion and LaMelo head-to-head contact, and it ends up being a transition. They can't get a transition layup off of it. Okay, so I got another quote for you in our continuing series of reporting what other people say about Kon Knueppel on podcasts, and these are NBA players. Jeff Teague on his podcast, the Club 520 podcast, says this about Kon Knueppel. Ready? Quote, "Rookie of the year. That was a great pick by Charlotte. He's better than Brandon Miller. No shade." Walker, you buying that? Is he better than Brandon Miller?
Oh, man, that is spicy. Well,
I've been on Yahoo Sports Daily.
These are the conversations that we're having right now. So here are the things that I've heard that seem crazy until you start to dive into what's happened this season to this point. Is Kon Knueppel better than Brandon Miller right now? I would still say no, but I haven't seen Brandon play in quite some time. Is Kon Knueppel...
I would say no, but also I can't remember.
Brandon, I love you, man. I want you to play. Everybody wants you to play. You're still going to be really good and a real part of the future of this team. Okay.
That was your congressional testimony where you click your mic on Senator. I do not recall.
Yeah. How many times have you been hurt? 50. More than that? 100. More 300? Yes. I butchered that, but you get the idea. Is Kon Knueppel the best player so far this season for Charlotte?
Yes.
I mean, that's
hands
crazy,
down. Like,
right?
that's not even. I don't even have to think about it. I don't need a stat. I have a stat 2. My eyeballs 1, 2. Like, yes, he's been the best player.
I mean, what's your? I guess your argument would be something to the tune of LaMelo's played enough. And LaMelo was good enough in the first handful of games that he played, and it took a little while before Kon got going on the volume that he's shooting right now. That would be your argument, because it can't be anybody but LaMelo. That's the only competition. That would be your argument. But Kon, since then, I mean, you mentioned a stat. I was watching back our episode a little bit yesterday, and you talked about Kon Knueppel, the stats being better in the wins, and they're lower in the losses. Now he's just the guy that you can depend on even in the losses. Toronto, depend on Kon. Yep. Indiana, depend on Kon. Like, the other thing, too, I know people are frustrated with Charles Lee. So many people can't stand him within, like, I don't know, maybe 50% of the Hornets fan base, whatever the number is. You know, one thing that I would like to see is Kon get more shots. I think we got 2 or 3 total in maybe the final 6:57 of this game. The final 7 minutes, we only got 3 Kon field goal attempts. Feels like we probably should have gotten more. And
would they have had it been closer? I think is going to be the question that is impossible to answer.
Well, you know, Colin Sexton had a fast break layup opportunity to cut it to 6, and it looked like it was going to happen. Looked like it was going to happen. Yeah. And, you know, it felt like there was enough time. Anyways, yeah, this was a frustrating loss. The Hornets just couldn't hit anything, man. They were shooting just a tad above 30% going into halftime. Hit a few more shots in the second half, but still clearly not enough. You know, it's crazy. Like, I looked at their points per possession in this game, Doug. It was in the 65th percentile. I mean, I did not expect to see that, except their effective field goal percentage. It was 46.7, which is terrible. Couldn't shoot well at the rim. Oh, and also they weren't shooting well from 3. Like, just a bunch of missed shots. They were taking the right kind of shots. They just had a bunch of missed ones.
Yeah, I think this team is going to be awkward for a while as they figure, particularly when Brandon Miller comes back, as they figure all of this out. It's too early to say, well, Kon Knueppel is better than Brandon Miller. It's too early, but I will say the odds of him becoming the better player in my mind are significantly higher than I thought they would be at this point in the season. Because what's the one thing we kept pointing to Brandon Miller and saying, if he's gonna reach all of the things that we want him to reach, and get to that sort of Paul Georgian perennial all-star, all-NBA level, what does he have to do? Well, he's got to get better defensively, he's got to get bigger, and he's got to be able to make some plays with his passing, which he's not doing at all. And then I've been harping on his inability to get a rebound sometimes. Like, it's crazy how he can score 25 and get 0 rebounds. It's nuts to me. And I know I don't think his role is necessarily I need you to go out there and gobble 7 or 8 rebounds. But man, it's crazy. I don't really have any of those concerns with Kon Knueppel right now.
Yeah. Last couple things. Moussa Diabate coming in. He's a madman. Just not finishing at that comes with some of the height limitations that he has against some of the bigger guys, but still just a winning basketball player. I'm sorry. Just gobbles up all the rebounds, 12 in limited minutes. Defensively was the better option over Ryan Kalkbrenner last night, who really struggled. And Pat Connaughton giving us actually a few good moments too. Like you got, it's again, maybe indictment on the Hornets, or maybe we could just focus on the good with Pat actually giving us a couple of good moments out there. You had Moussa thoughts.
Well, my thought is the same Moussa thought that I always have, which is he's playing out of position, and they are having to jump through so many hoops to figure out the center position that there are just going to be nights like this against all kinds of teams. They'll be in games with teams they don't belong in games in and lose those. They'll be out of games that they should be in, and sometimes Kon will get on a heater, or Brandon will get on a heater, or LaMelo will get on a heater, and they'll accidentally win. And sometimes they'll lose like this. This is just, there's a good team somewhere in here, but there's like 6 or 7 players that are going to come along for that ride, and 6 or 7 players that won't. And over the course of this season, the Hornets really have to decide and make some tough choices about who's staying and who's going, and and the players that go, how they're going to address that so that this team can have the size and the skill sets to match what is clearly a great rookie class and a few good veterans as well.
They can pry Moussa away from my cold dead hands with.
I don't want them to get rid of Moussa.
Oh no,
I
know.
want them to get rid of Moussa.
It's just a joke.
I want them to play him in position.
You have a baby. You have to go. But I do. When we do another show together, I think you're going to go solo tomorrow because I have another wedding. Yes, wedding tour 3 in 4 weeks. The one that I don't have a wedding is Thanksgiving. So officiating this one. But with some of the other episodes, like you asked that question, who's going to be along for the ride? Who's coming to whatever the second level of this looks like? And also, like, what should the goals be for LaMelo this season? I want to know what we want to see from LaMelo. What do you want? What do you want notebook style? Because I want another All-Star appearance? Of course. Is that fair to ask if he continues to get over the ankle injury? I don't know. What do you not ask him to do as much now that Kon has been playing so well? Like, maybe. That's another topic, but I just want to know what we want from LaMelo this year.
Okay, I'll just answer very quickly. You pay a guy $45-50 million a year, you expect an all-star. Sorry. Like, that's,
all right, well, we just did the show. 2 shows in one. Congratulations. That's the show. That'll do it for Doug Branson. He's got a couple of other shows that he does. EveryHornetsBoxScore.com, Yahoo Sports Daily with Jason Fitz and Caroline Fenton. And I'm Walker Mehl. Listen to me, WFNZ, every weekday from 12 to 3 p.m. Thanks for making us your first listen on the #1 sports podcast network. Have a great rest of your day. We'll be back with you tomorrow.